Welcome to the Tuesday Pulse. I'm Rich Lieberman, and we are live on YouTube. Oftentimes people talk to me about the various Bay Area news anchors on television, and what do I think of them? And I inevitably, and you inevitably, want to compare them to the various anchors that we've had to watch in the Bay Area, at least in my lifetime, having grown up in the 70s. I regard Van Amburg as the very, very best, hands down, Bay Area TV news anchor. Why so? Well, Van had presence, he had command, he had a look, but it wasn't that kind of superficial look. There was a ton of substance behind the style. Okay. And grabbed he grabbed the spotlight when that camera went on him, right? And I'm like many others in the business who sometimes are portrayed as difficult to work with and for. Van can have his moments. I know a lot of reporters and people who worked with him who said he was tough, but he was also very, very solid, professional with a capital P. And at the end, he had so much power and so much authority at Circle 7 that that power kind of got to him. And nothing mischievous or nothing, onerous or scandalous. It's just that Van Amber was a very, very powerful figure. And a lot of people, mostly ABC execs, had enough of it. They just simply could not take it. This, despite the fact that in the 70s and all the way in the 80s into the early 90s, well, Van Amberg left in 89, but he was so powerful and so big at Channel 7. He had an investigative team of his own, and ABC gave him all the manpower he wanted. He had something like 5 or 6 producers, and he was able to travel the world and do documentaries and special projects. But guess what? He was worth it. He was responsible for the domination that Channel 7 had in the 70s with News Scene. That was the name of the newscasts that were and just a massive, massive ratings winner at KGO Channel 7. And really, it wasn't the birthplace of happy talk, but it had that sort of charming 70s nuance, right? Did Channel 7 News and News Scene. You had Van. Jerry Jensen is the perfect second fiddle. Pete Giddings was very arrogant, obnoxious, but you loved him. You loved watching him because he had the polka dot tie and the shtick letter from home. Remember that? The letter from home where little kids used to write Pete Giddings. And of course, the sports, John O'Reilly, Jim Selania, KGO was the station growing up in the 70s for me in the Bay Area. And not only was it dominant, it blew away the competition. It blew away. Second fiddle was yards away from where KGO was number one. And the very essence of their number one ness was none other than Van Amber. There is nobody like him today. Nobody. Nobody commands the screen like Van Amber did. Nobody today. There's a few people that are close. And by the way, when I say Van was the best ever, I mean that I could look to people like Dave McElhatton, right? And uh, um, Marsha Brandwin, who was also in that same era, right? But Marsha was not a number one. She was very good, but not a number one. But McElhatton, and of course, Pete Wilson. I can't believe it's been what? Damn, 16, 17 years since Pete died back in 2007. And he was close. Dave McElhatton was almost right there with Van. I'd state that Van was a number one, and Dave McElhatton was like a 1A. But today, are you kidding me? There's nobody even close. Dan Ashley can be in the same sentence, but he's nowhere near Van Amber, right? Um, Dennis Richmond, very, very solid. But Dennis, despite his news chops and being command of the screen, he didn't have the background, the news acumen that I like to talk about every now and then. And I wouldn't put him in the same breath as a McElhatton, or certainly not Van Amber. He was big, but nothing. I mean, Dennis, nothing like Van's legacy at Channel 7. Um, and Dennis, he had longevity, started out as like an intern at KTVU. And this is when KTVU was, preeminent news station. But Dennis worked his way all the way up to number one. And he was there too when they had people like, the Hambrick brothers and Gary Park, who was a sports anchor and got his legacy as being a sports anchor. But people forget Gary Park started out as a news anchor. And this is when Channel 2 was hipping and hopping, right? And nothing like it is today. Well, of course, nothing is like it is today. But when you look at the San Francisco TV anchors, I mentioned McElhatton, Marsha Brandwin, Dennis Richmond, Barbara Simpson in her early days, Elaine Corral, very, very popular, but nowhere near the number one of a Van Amburg. And it was obviously a special time, a different time. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the multitude of options and things like the internet and streaming and all the various isms that consist today that we have and so forth. But Van, again, not only had the look, not only had the chops, he was presence personified and very news edgy and choppy, and also one of the best interviewers ever. If there was some kind of a breaking news, if there was, we had issues and things taking place in the 70s, like the zebra killers, the zebra killings. You had Patty Hearst. You had all of the political situations. The Milk Moscone murders. You had Jonestown, and I look back at Van, and boy, you put Van on the desk at any moment. He was superb. He could interview, and by golly, he could also ad lib. Today, oh my God, give me a break. Nothing even comes close. Hey, look, a couple of things. Thanks for watching my show. Continue to watch. Please subscribe to me on YouTube. I got some great interviews coming, which are in the planning stages, but I'm doing my best to secure. And folks, these are biggies. These are not little, sweet nothings in the 415, 408, 510, 925 and 650. These are national kind of interview topics and subjects. So stay tuned. Please, 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 if you want to see this and you want to see me to continue to give you the content and the scoops and the commentary that you like to look at and observe, if you don't always agree, that's fine. At least you know I'm honest. Please contribute to Rich Lieberman. Go up to the donate icon to PayPal. Send me a contribution, whatever amount you can afford. I will personally call you or email you back thanking you and appreciative of your support of myself and my ability to give you what you look forward to every day here and in the future. So thanks a lot. We'll see you later, alligator.